Hey guys, it's the Codester here, back for another Total Drama YouTube video. Sorry about that pause at the beginning, my phone was acting up. Well, today we're doing a what if I've seen proposed in a couple of places. What if Trent was never tricked by Heather in Total Drama Island? So what happens in the original timeline in episode 16, Trent gets tricked by Heather into kissing her, and Gwen sees. Gwen feels cheated on, and she tells Lashana. Lashana then goes blabs to everyone. Then Heather wins invincibility that night, so they all vote out Trent. That's the basic events of episode 16 in the original timeline. In this timeline, things are going to go a little bit different. Basically, Heather's not going to trick Trent. That can happen for multiple reasons. Maybe just Trent never shows up. I don't feel like that'd be like him, so I'm just going to say Heather just never saw Trent and Gwen kiss originally, and so she doesn't think they're like an alliance type thing. So, in the original episode, what happens is Trent gets eliminated. But since he's not tricked this episode, that would not happen. And really, there's only two people who I can see going home this episode, because Heather, she would still win immunity. In this version, Heather still wins immunity. Nothing would change that. So, in the original challenge, DJ and Bridget are the only two, as far as I can tell, who never got their keys. Because that's what the challenge was. They had to get keys to unlock chests. And they're the only two who never get a single key. So, I feel like one of them should go home. And I hate to do that, but it honestly makes the most logical sense, since neither one of them got their keys. And it really could be either one. But since Bridget gets eliminated the next episode, let's say maybe Duncan tries to form the Boys Alliance one episode earlier. And because, well, the whole Trent thing doesn't go down, Duncan decides, hey, let's try the Boys Alliance now. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boys out of the 11 people, I believe, that are still remaining. Happened there, but like my internet glitched out or something. So basically all that happened was, I'm not sure exactly where the video cut off, so I'm assuming it's right when Bridget got eliminated. So she got eliminated, and now it's episode 17. So this is actually the episode where Bridget originally gets eliminated. So now, like I mentioned prior, the Boys Alliance would now still be formed. So the Boys Alliance would be formed one episode prior, and this gives them actually a really good advantage. I feel like Jeff wouldn't have voted for Bridget, by the way, but I feel like there might have been one or two people who might have voted too. I don't know. But let's just keep it like that for simplicity's sake. So now the boys control most of the vote. And so in episode 17, that's hide and be sneaky, the boys would need to be trying to make a move. Of course, Trent wouldn't want Gwen gone, so they wouldn't vote out Gwen. And in this episode, I'm trying to remember who got immunity. And it was Lashana, if I remember correctly. Right? Lashana wins immunity. And so, I'm gonna say, in the end of this challenge, so, I'm gonna say, let me check real quick, because I have, like, the video listings pulled up here. I don't think Heather wins immunity, right? I believe she's found right off the bat, right? And sadly, so I'm gonna say probably Heather goes home here. Sorry about that thing of silence. I don't think Heather had invincibility here, right? Like, I'm not wrong about that, right? Hopefully I'm not, or this messes up the entire what if. But I'm gonna say she goes home there. No reason for her to stay. But anyways, episode 18. Episode 18 is Off the Chain. Now, this is actually a really interesting diversion in the timeline, because now Heather's not here to get Lindsay eliminated. And if you remember, there were two people in this challenge who never even made a bike. Well, Izzy made a bike. Lashana didn't, but they were not even there for the challenge. So I feel like Chris would pull something to get either one of them eliminated. And sadly, even though I love Lashana, Chris would probably have her instantly eliminated since she didn't even get to make a bike. So now we're on episode 19. And, okay, one thing that would change here is that now that, DJ, he would never see Heather shaving her legs, which we all admit is pretty horrifying. So, but since he never sees that now, would he still get scared? I feel like he would, but it would just be, like, from seeing the killer, maybe. Or maybe something else would scare him. Like, DJ is very, like, he gets... Hey y'all, sorry about that again. My video keeps acting up. I don't know what's going on. But anyways, all that happened in that short little break is that DJ, he got eliminated because I don't think much would change that. And then while in Aqua Gone Wild, Izzy still gets eliminated. Nothing would really change that, I feel like. Episode 21, let me go to it real quick. I have an episode list. That's how I always know, like, what challenges. Is Trial by Triathlon. So I feel like Gwen and Jeff would still be partnered. I mean, let me put them next to each other. Gwen and Jeff, because I like that pairing. Let's put Owen and Lindsay together and Trent and Duncan together in this timeline. And in the original timeline, Duncan wins. And so I feel like Trent and Duncan would win invincibility and they would all vote off Jeff. But Gwen might try to convince Trent not to, but I still feel like the majority vote would get Jeff out. Or there would be some kind of tie that gets Jeff out. Episode 22. This is surely based on who everyone likes the most. And we know that Katie and Sadie like Trent a lot. And so I feel like they would start a Trent, like a thing that they did with Lashana, where, like a chain, and Trent would go home here, sadly. R.I.P. Trent. Episode 23 doesn't really matter. Episode 24. So Duncan and Owen would still be a team. Gwen and Lindsay would be a team now. And this is where it would get kind of confusing because Lindsay isn't the smartest. So it's really unknown if Gwen and her would win. But for simplicity's sake, I'm going to say that they would most likely win in this case. And so Duncan, sadly, still goes home. And then episode 25. This, honestly, we all know Lindsay. Even though Lindsay is a strong competitor, she would not make it through this challenge at all. Like, she could not do some of the disgusting stuff, and she wouldn't even let Chef touch her hair if it got to that point. And so, even though the finale ended up the same, it's kind of like that old thing, like, oh, it's like going from point A to point B, but the way we got there was different. So even though we ended up with the same ending cast, the way we got to that cast was a little bit different. So I hope y'all liked this video, and... well, I guess I'll see y'all later. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This has been the Codester.